Okay, so let's get right into it. You've probably used ChatGPT, right? I mean, who hasn't at this point? And for most of us, it's completely free. But if you ever stop to think about what it actually costs to keep something that powerful up and running, well, today we're going to unpack the absolutely staggering economics behind one of the most popular AI tools on the planet. Get ready for this number, $700,000. Yep, you heard that right. According to a whole bunch of industry analysis, that is the estimated bill that OpenAI is footing just to operate ChatGPT. And here's the real kicker. That's not a one-time setup fee. That is the cost every single day. This brings up a fascinating, kind of mind-bending paradox, right? How can something that costs so much to run be offered for free to millions and millions of us? So yeah, let's dig into that massive daily bill. We're going to break down how a service that so many of us use without ever paying a dime can possibly handle these kinds of multi-million-dollar expenses. It seems impossible. You know, to put that daily number in perspective, if you do the math, we are talking about more than $250 million a year. And I want to be crystal clear here. This isn't for developing cool new features or for marketing. This is literally just the cost to keep the lights on. So the big question is, where is all that cash going? I mean, a number that big has to have some serious drivers behind it. So let's pop the hood and take a look at the anatomy of this cost to see what's really going on. And wow, okay, when you look at this breakdown, it's not even close. One category just completely dominates. A massive 70% of the entire daily cost is for just one thing: GPU and compute power. Everything else, the data, the engineers, the whole shebang, it's all just a fraction of the cost compared to the raw processing power needed. Putting that into real money makes it even more stark. We're talking nearly $500,000 every day just on computing hardware. Another 100,000 plus just for data. These aren't just abstract percentages. This is cold, hard cash flowing out the door every 24 hours. So what exactly is this GPU infrastructure that costs a fortune? Well, think of it like this. It's a giant, sprawling farm of thousands upon thousands of super specialized, incredibly expensive computer chips. Every single time you ask ChatGPT a question, boom, these are the things that fire up to do all the heavy lifting. They're the engine of modern AI, and man, that engine is incredibly thirsty for power and for money. Which brings us right back to the central mystery, doesn't it? If the costs are this astronomical, how on earth is this sustainable, especially with so many of us using it for free? Let's finally solve this free paradox. I mean, this is the question, right? You've got somewhere between 25 and 30 million people using this thing every single day, and the vast majority aren't paying a cent. The math just doesn't seem to add up. So where is the money coming from? Well, it turns out it's not just one magic trick. OpenAI is really leaning on a three-pronged strategy. First, you've got premium subscribers, people paying for ChatGPT Plus. Second, you have the big fish, enterprise customers, large companies paying top dollar for advanced access. And third, well, this one is the real kicker, a massive mountain of investor cash. And when I say a mountain of cash, I am not kidding. Just look at that number. That's $10 billion. And that's just for Microsoft. This isn't your normal startup funding. This is the kind of capital you need to build a new world, a massive bet on the entire future of AI. Okay, so why does any of this matter to you? Well, understanding this cost structure isn't just an interesting bit of trivia. It has huge implications for all of us, for you as a user, for businesses, and for the future of AI itself. And this comparison chart really puts it all into perspective. At first glance, you might think, oh, $700K a day, that's less than YouTube or Google. But look closer. Look at the cost per user. That's the real story here. It costs OpenAI significantly more to answer one of your questions than it costs Netflix to stream you a movie. It just shows how uniquely expensive AI queries are. And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. The CEO of OpenAI himself, Sam Altman, has said it flat out. The compute costs are, in his own words, enormous. This isn't some dirty secret. It's the fundamental economic reality of AI today. So what does this all mean for us? What's the big takeaway? Well, first, the whole free AI forever idea is probably not going to happen. Expect more paywalls. Second, this is a game for giants. You need deep, deep pockets to compete. Which leads to point three, the long-term future of AI really hinges on making this stuff way cheaper to run. And because of all that, we're already seeing new business models pop up that go way beyond just free. And that leaves us with one final and pretty crucial question. When the price of admission to build this stuff is measured in the billions of dollars, who ultimately gets to sit at the table? Who is going to own the infrastructure that powers our future? And what in the world does that mean for the rest of us?